All right, Coach Sharp, big week last week. Started conference play, but the week started with your last non-conference game before conference play started, Texas A&M Commerce. Then you travel up to northwestern Oklahoma and southwestern Oklahoma. So let's talk about last week.
Last week was a trying week. We, 3 road games, and I don't know who made the schedule out, but that guy needs to learn something. We were trying to find games, and that was the only time slot we could fit Commerce in, and they're close. We need to continue to play Commerce every year. They're only about 3 hours away, and it was a great game. It was our first real road test where we were going to get challenged, and we got challenged early. We were down 17 in the first half, and realized, about halftime that, if we don't play, we're going to get blown out. And if we don't start tightening things up and doing what we need to do, and a lot of credit goes to our kids. They got back in that game and actually had a lead there late in the game. About the last 2 minutes of the game, we finally got the lead, and Commerce came down and made back-to-back threes, and then got an offensive rebound off of a free throw and scored and got fouled. They hit a 10-0 run the last 3 minutes of the game to win it, and that was frustrating. Our kids fought really, really hard to get back in that game and put themselves in position to win. We felt like we were one possession away from getting that win over there, and it was a great venue to play in, a big airplane hangar, and it was loud, and Commerce is a really good team. And so we fell short that game and had to regroup quickly. We left Wednesday to go to Oklahoma, and that was a tough stretch. Northwestern Oklahoma is a very good team. I don't think we were overlooking them, but I think we looked athletically. I thought we were better than them, and we were more athletic, and that didn't matter. Those kids had played together for 4 years. They know how to play together. They ran good stuff, and we got punched in the mouth, and we never recovered. And I think we ended up winning the second half, but that game was over in the first half, and our kids continued to fight, and we saw that we cannot show up and win games based on athletic ability or talent or things like that. And so that was a good learning experience, as much as it hurt and it was terrible to lose. I think it was good for our kids to see that they're going to have to strap it on every night and play and execute for us to have a chance to win. So we licked our wounds and then traveled down to Southwestern. Southwestern, I think, was picked second in the conference in the preseason poll, and they are very talented. They're more athletic than we are. At each position, they're probably a little better than we are at each position, and right there had a chance to win that game. It was a back and forth game. It was a very good game to watch. It's a good game to play in, and we got down 10 a couple of times in the second half and fought back and actually took a lead late in the game. Again, we're one possession away from finishing that game out. We were up 2 on the free throw line to shoot 1 free throw and missed, and they went down and scored and got fouled and made the free throw. So that was a 5-point swing with the clock barely moving. So we were one possession away from winning that game. And our kids fought, and I think they understand what it takes to win conference games now. They fought their tails off in adverse venues, and the referees, the referees are never going to be great, but we've got to take the game out of the referees' hands and never let it get to the point where a big call one way or the other just decides games. And they fought through some bad calls, both ways. So overall, it was a really, really rough week. I haven't lost 3 games in a row in probably 3 years. So we're up against the wall right now, and got to find a way to win close games, to execute, to realize that the game is going to boil down to 1 or 2 possessions, and whichever team can win those 2 possessions is going to win the game. And so we got to continue to value possessions and keep working and trust the system. The system works. We're in every game except for that Northwestern game. And we're right there. If we make a couple of adjustments one way or this way, and we win 2 of those 3 last week. So tough week, we've been preparing for Ouachita and Henderson coming in here this week, 2 big conference games, 2 home games, and we've got to protect our home floor. So hopefully we're up for the challenge tonight to really put it all together finally.
What do you look at, and when you're looking at Ouachita and Henderson, your first time against the 2 schools from Arkadelphia, coming in home games? What are the things that you're looking at? You look at them, you look at their abilities, and you look at the things you need to improve. How do the Mule Riders match up with those 2 teams?
Ouachita is very similar to Northwestern. They are we're probably a little more athletic than they are, but they play really well together. They've been together a long time. They return all 5 starters, I think, from last year. So they're a veteran group, and they know how to play. They run good stuff. They've got a great shooter on the wing that they run a lot of good plays for. So they're very similar to Northwestern, where we're going to have to really execute and not get in a hurry. You know, they're going to make some runs, and we've got to be able to counter their runs with runs of our own. So we've spent this past week working really half-court defense. You know, let's just be solid defensively and let our offense, kind of worry about itself. So Ouachita is very similar to Northwestern, and Saturday Henderson is very similar to Southwest, where they have, very good individual players. They returned several from last year, but at each position, they may be a little better than us at each position. So it'll be very similar to last week. We've got to come in tonight and not overlook anybody, because we're more athletic than them. Basketball is just about fundamentals, and the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win usually. So we've got to not get in our own way like we did against Northwestern. So very, very contrasting styles. So it'll be interesting to see if we've learned our lessons from last week.
All right, and this year a little different than it has been in years past, in that the Mule Riders starting conference play much earlier in the season than they have in the past. That limits your ability to prepare for conference a little bit. Talk about the difference that can make as you started conference play last week.
It's a huge adjustment. I wasn't here in the league last year, but anytime you're playing 4 and 5 and 6 conference games before Christmas, especially in Division II, you're not allowed to start playing until the 2nd week in November. So everything is real condensed and packaged in real tightly. Ready or not, here comes conference play, and I guess the one aspect is that we're all in the same boat together, all the conference teams. But we may need to look at playing a little tougher non-conference schedule early in the year next year to get us more prepared for the early battles. Especially our first 2 were on the road, and there were 20 conference games Thursday and Saturday of last week, and the home teams went 19-1. So it shows you road games are really hard to win in this league, no matter who's playing who. So the fact that we're starting conference so early, it puts a little more pressure on you, I think, to get out of the gate a little better than what we have. Sure, I think we should be 1-1. Being 0-2 kind of puts you in a little different mindset, where it puts a lot of pressure on these 2 games here at home to take care of business at home and get back in the thick of things. So it's a big adjustment. You're only allowed to practice so many hours a week anyway, and you're trying to worry about your team, and then on top of that, you're trying to game plan for what other teams are trying to do. So it's a little rushed. In the end, we want to worry about ourselves more than our opponent, and keep trying to peak. We want to play our best basketball in March, and we got to keep making steps. And I can say that we have made steps. We didn't make a good positive step from Commerce to Northwestern, but I think we've learned, and we made a good step from Northwestern to Southwestern. Now let's make the next step in these games this week.
All right, so you get to come home, your home crowd this week. First home conference games. You got the big silent countdown happening at the start of the game. Talk about what it's going to mean to play in front of the home crowd.
It's huge. The home court, being at home, protecting your home floor Thursday night, silent countdown, student activities is really trying to get behind us, and we really appreciate that. We got to continue to give people a reason to come out and watch us play. And we may not shoot the ball well, we may not do this or that well, but we're going to show our fans and our supporters that we care about winning and losing, and we're going to go out there and give our very best. You know, we're not going to lose the effort battle, so we're going to go out and we're going to play very hard and hopefully give people a reason to get on board with us. You know, we need to start seeing some results of winning games. You know, we don't believe in moral victories, and we don't want our fans to believe in moral victories. But it's a process, and as much as we need to stay patient with the process and let the community know, you know, this is, you know, a game-by-game improvement, hopefully, year by year. We got to win these two this week to feel good about ourselves going into the Christmas break and then you know, coming back after Christmas. So we got to see some improvement this week and start making that next step.
All right, Coach. Well, we look forward to the games this week, and we look forward to talking to you about those afterwards.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
Thanks.